A lot of people say, at what point in your career did you decide to become an activist? The question is ill-placed, because at what point in my life as an activist did I decide to become an artist?
Work all night and a drink a rum.
I'd rather you enter the world in which I live dancing than enter the world in which I live moping. That's all part of it. Life is filled with opportunities to dance and to sing and to be joyous.
Harry Belafonte, the king of Calypso, left the sound of Deo echoing in our heads. In the half-century since, Belafonte hasn't just entertained us, he's helped change the world as a political and humanitarian activist. Now, in my closer encounter, Belafonte looks back on his crowded life for the HBO documentary Sing My Song and his autobiography, My Song.
I've never met a star who didn't admit to me that they went just a little bit crazy when they got money and when they got fame. Do you remember the first expensive thing you bought when you kind of had that feeling I could buy anything?
Sure. Got 3 suits. That's a fact. To have 3 brand new suits hanging in the closet with shoes that matched and shirts that matched and ties that matched, I felt very spiffy. When I got to 30 suits, I got really troubled, especially when I found that 2 years had gone by and I had not worn them all. I could have more suits than anyone else, but I was never able to put that in the place of logic. What does that do for you?
You talk a lot about your mother and how her example was an inspiration to you. When you hear your mother's voice in your head, what's she saying?
I hear her mostly when times are troubled, when I'm not quite sure that I'm stepping into an experience that will yield all of the results I would like to have. I remember the moments in which she wept because the cruelties of poverty were so upon her as an immigrant woman coming to America, hopes and aspirations that were never fulfilled. And I remember her tenaciously trying to keep her children out of harm's way.
Others guided him: Eleanor Roosevelt, the Kennedys, Martin Luther King Jr.
In my computer that I carry with me, I have almost all of Dr. King's speeches. And if I'm in a hotel room or at home, or I'm in a troubled moment, and I need to find a stimulus that will help guide me to a conclusion that I can work with, or that's workable, I will tap into his voice, and I listen to that, and I'm nourished.
When you do that, does it occur to you that you've done that for a lot of people, that people listen to your songs and get happy or get reminded of the hard times?
I'm in touch with that fact because I chose that as my mission. When I understood the power of art, I found that artists are in fact the gatekeepers of truth, and they are the final arbiters about how history is interpreted. Well, if that much power resides in a group that is blessed with that gift, what do you do with it? How do you report history? How do you tell it? How do you perform it? How do you sing about it? How do you paint about it? And what is the end result of all of that? It is to reach the hearts and minds of people, to tell them that there's good in us and there is a lot of good to be achieved.
You haven't performed live in a while.
No.
You miss it?
I don't choose to miss it.
Wow.
The anguish of missing it is a waste of time. I had a great life. I lived it at the top of the game. I knew one thing: I did not want to have claw marks on the wall as I was required to leave the room. You're still at the best that the game has to offer, and you should leave it in the memory of your audience that that's the way it always was.
Harry, thanks for this closer encounter.